In today's episode, I'm joined by Boss Josh.
Yo.
We're going to talk to you guys about the keto diet. Boss Josh, welcome back.
Thank you.
To MJ Every Day.
Yes.
Man, one of the most frequent questions I get at the moment, or frequent topics of question, is about the keto diet.
Yeah.
What is the keto diet? How do you get into ketosis? What are my thoughts on the keto diet? What are the pros of the keto diet? What are the cons of the keto diet? How do I know if just so many, every time I put up and ask me a question on Instagram story, without doubt, I get hammered questions about the keto diet. Now, before we get into this episode of MJ Every Day, I do just want to point out that the Big Swole Bear and I did an episode of the Gains Trust 18 months ago. It was episode 9 of the Gains Trust on the keto diet, and we went completely balls deep.
Everything.
So if you want to go balls deep in the keto diet and you want to invest 30 minutes instead of this video probably going to go for about 10, that's where you need to go. It's up on screen at the moment, episode 9 of the Gains Trust. So go check that out if you want to go, you want to go balls deep. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is just going to be a summary with somebody who has done a lot of keto dieting, experimented a lot with the keto diet.
Yep.
So Bosch, let's hit him, man. What is the keto diet? Let's start there.
All right, a keto diet is a high-fat diet.
Yes.
That's it. It's straight up. It's high-fat. If you want to talk macros, generally...
Let's talk macros. What does it look like?
70% from fat.
So 70% of your calories...
Calorie intake.
Coming from fat.
From fat.
Yep.
20% or 25, or mainly 20% protein.
Sure.
And then 5% carbs.
Okay.
That's it.
So it's a high fat,
super high fat,
moderate protein,
moderate to low protein,
super low carb diet.
Minimal.
That's the keto diet.
Yep, that is.
How does the keto diet, how does that sit with the general health and fitness type diet? Where, generally in the health and fitness lifestyle, the kind of rule of thumb is you take your caloric intake, depending on whether you want to be in surplus to build muscle, in deficit to lose body fat, and you break that caloric intake down into 40% protein, 40% carbs, 20% fat. Yeah. That's the general rule of thumb.
That is.
So keto kind of takes that and flips it on its head, am I right?
Completely, completely changes it around. I mean, you're going from 40% carbs down to 5% carbs.
Yes.
You're halving your protein intake. And you're over tripling your fat intake.
You're sending your fat through the fucking roof.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right?
That's it.
So what are the benefits? Why would somebody throw the 40-40-20 typical health and fitness diet out the window and try this keto diet? Like, what are the pros?
The whole reason behind following a keto diet is to get yourself into ketosis.
Okay, so explain ketosis for the viewers.
So ketosis is when your body switches from its primary fuel source, if you're following a 40-40-20 standard diet of glucose, carbohydrates, it switches from using those as the primary fuel source to using ketones, which are what your body breaks fat down into. And ketones are like the fuel source. So ketone is the fat equivalent of glucose or blood glucose level. Okay. That sort of makes sense like that. So by reducing your carbohydrate intake down to that 5%, if not lower, you're obviously slamming your body with so much fat, you are force feeding it essentially and starving it of the carbs to go, wow, where's the glycogen going? Where's the glucose? We need to change a fuel source. Let's tap into this fats that we're getting an abundance of. And that's when you pull yourself into a stage or a metabolic state called ketosis, where your body will start using fats in the form of ketones as a primary fuel source.
Now that doesn't mean that your body's going to use body fat as a primary fuel source, right? Because I feel like that's where a lot of people go, I'm going keto because I want to burn body fat.
You can still be...
If you're keto and you're in caloric surplus... You're not going to burn body fat because you have too many fucking calories.
Still in a surplus. The rules, the base rules of dieting still apply. Yeah, 100%.
So what is the benefit of ketosis then? For somebody chasing a health or fitness goal, whether it's to build muscle or burn body fat, why would you want to go keto?
There's a few benefits. One of them is probably mental clarity, and they all vary from person to person. But the most common ones that people experience are mental clarity, stable energy levels throughout the day. Some people find that they just feel fresher when they wake up in the morning.
Sure.
Because obviously, and this all revolves around what happens when you reduce your carbohydrate intake down.
So it's got a lot to do with like insulin sensitivity, right? Insulin resistance, how your body deals with insulin, and therefore carbohydrates when you consume them. And so some people are going to just feel better when in ketosis and following the keto diet. Okay. Flip the switch. Why would you not want to do the keto diet?
Why would you not want to do it?
What are the cons of the keto diet?
Definitely the initial stage of getting into it.
Sure.
Because obviously you are, like we've said, if you're you're following a fairly generic diet of predominantly protein and carbs, and you're low fat, you're switching it up, you're changing your macro intake, your body's like, yo, what's going on? This is all out of whack. Where's my energy going? You go through a stage what they call the keto flu stage.
Sure.
And that's what's referred to as the adapting stages of going into ketosis, where you are depleting your body of glycogen, so you're feeling foggy-headed, lethargic, tired, you might get a bit cranky. You're just you're essentially experiencing quite extreme dieting effects. But
you feel shit.
Yeah, you feel shit. Yeah, absolutely. But you can obviously, once you get through that, that's when the benefits come into it. But a lot of people just can't get through it. They can't get through the
keto flu.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes, so that's the first con? What's the next, why else would you not want to do?
Let's be real, if we're looking from a muscle building perspective, you're having quite low protein and very minimal carbohydrates.
Sure.
And those two are pretty much vital for muscle growth.
And obviously consuming protein drives protein synthesis through essential amino acids and even conditionally essential amino acids. But another big driver of protein synthesis a lot of people don't realize is glycogen.
Exactly.
Right? So if you are not consuming carbs purposely to restrict your body's ability to store glycogen, you're not going to be able to synthesize protein as well as you could if you had glycogen.
Correct.
Right? So that's another con of the keto diet. Look, my personal opinion on it, and I said this in episode 9 of the Gains Trust, I don't like the keto diet for the health and fitness lifestyle. And the primary reason for me has to do with that reduction in protein synthesis and the fact that we know that you train better, you perform better with carbohydrates as the primary fuel source. We know, that's not even up for discussion. There's decades of scientific backing behind that goes, if you supplement with carbohydrates pre, intra, post workout, you get better performance, you get better training endurance, and you get better muscle recovery. Right? That's game over. So that's why I don't like keto for the health and fitness lifestyle. And I feel like the trap that a lot of people fall into, and this is why I get so many fucking questions on it, and it frustrates me, that's why I'm happy we're shooting this episode, the trap I think that people fall into is they somehow manifest in their mind that if I'm not following the keto diet, I can't burn body fat for energy. And if I am following the keto diet, all I'm gonna do is turn into this body fat burning machine. It's just not true. It comes down to calories in versus calories out, right? You can be in ketosis, you can be following the keto diet, be too far in caloric surplus, and put on body fat. Likewise, 100%. You can be following 40-40-20 as, bodybuilders have done for fucking decades. I was going to say centuries, but not quite. But let's emphasize it. Centuries, thousands of years, dynasties. You can be following 40-40-20, be in caloric deficit, and burn body fat like a motherfucker.
Absolutely.
That's all it comes down to. So I just want you guys to understand that the keto diet is a method of dieting. It has pros, it has cons, like any other method of dieting. It's not some magic diet where you turn into this fat burning machine.
No, it still needs to follow the basic rules of dieting.
Of course.
That's it.
And then it comes down to personal preference, right?
Exactly.
You've tried keto. Do you prefer keto or do you prefer high carbs, high protein, low fat?
I think from just purely a dieting standpoint and ignoring performance, I preferred keto.
And that's fine.
But when you factor in performance, training, and especially if you're trying to come out of a diet and get into that muscle growth phase again, personally, just didn't work. I haven't been keto for ages because I've been trying to grow.
And the two things are just not congruent, right?
Yeah.
Look, the final thing I want to say, guys, as I say with all dieting methods, training methods, supplementation regimes, ultimately it comes down to IIFYLS.
Yep.
If it fits your lifestyle.
So
figure out what your lifestyle looks like. Figure out what dieting method, training method, supplementation regime you can implement into your lifestyle, the one that's going to fit your lifestyle the best, because we know without shadow of a doubt that the people who are most consistent with their diet, with their training, with their supplementing, and are not jumping from one dieting method to another one, from push-pull legs to bro split, back to push-pull legs to who knows what the fuck next. The ones who are the most consistent with whatever dieting method they choose, whatever training method they choose, whatever supplementation regime they choose for the longest period of time are those who get the best results.
That's it.
And really, it doesn't fucking matter which one you choose. Just choose the one that fits your lifestyle.
That's it.
Because consistency is key.
Exactly.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add, Bosch?
That's it, man.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell the viewers to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on, both on your mobile, your cell phone, and your desktop PC, so you don't miss a beat when it comes to the Massive Joe's YouTube channel. Bosch, thank you for your time, man.
My pleasure.
Good to have you back in MJ every day.
It's good to
be back. If we get a bunch of comments, you know, I must ask you another question. You might be back. Until tomorrow, we're coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive. Thank you for tuning into this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the Massive Joe's YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.